Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? Trayvon Copeland back with another episode, bro. We got another interview, another one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special guest on today. None other than my man, Mr. Rodney Barnes. I said that correctly, right?
You did.
All right, I gotta do my, so I'm kind of smart. Listen, he's a special guest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you don't know this man's resume, he's wrote for Wu Tang, Wu Tang. Yeah, he wrote that. He wrote for that show. He's also wrote for My Wife and Kids. Everybody Hates Chris. The Boondocks. Dude, this is a monster. You understand me? Monster resume. Get that man a hand of applause, Mr. Barnes. But what I'm here to talk to you about in specific is Killadelphia. Let's get right into it, brother. What did you gain the inspiration to write that show? Y'all forgive me, I just got the gym. That's why I'm all.
Um, Killadelphia, I've been rolling around in my head since I was a kid. I'd always wanted, I've always appreciated vampires, and when it came to my culture and how vampires were kind of approached, it was sort of corny and campy, and it wasn't really taken seriously. So
Hmm.
I wanted to write something that I felt kind of was classy and sophisticated and really had some heavy themes, the same things that you would see in Dracula or any other vampire novel or graphic novel.
Right, right. Okay. It's so important that we have, some. I'm gonna just say it. It's nice to see black people in some stories. Okay, it's nice to see black people in some stories. Like everybody has every damn thing. It's nice to see us sometimes. We can kill vampires too. Blade is not the only vampire killer. You know what I'm saying? And one of the one of the important factors that I love is how you mix the human, like I'm just a regular guy, and with the supernatural. As far as the protagonists go, or for particular storylines, that's something that's uniquely done in Killadelphia, not giving too much away. So we're gonna get into the questions a little bit. We're gonna get into the questions. Um, Viewers, if you haven't read the comic yet, I advise you skip ahead because some spoilers. But if you have read the comic, we about to get into it. First question, Mr. Burns, who is Tevin Thompson? Was this like somebody that you knew in your neighborhood? Somebody's son or brother? Who's Tevin Thompson?
I wanted him to be just an average guy. I didn't want him to have like a special historical background or significance. I wanted him to be just a regular dude. And I think the idea of him was more that there's so many people in the culture who feel powerless, who feel like they're not part of the system, who feel like they've been left out of the American dream. And I wanted him to be one of those people and then one day be granted immortality and the perspective that comes with being a vampire. And
Mm-hmm.
almost as a metaphor to see that if we invest in people that don't always get investment, um, how things would change in a positive way.
Right on, right on, right on. Okay. Next question. Why did Sir Adams like he's kind of fond of like black people? Like I was trying to understand like why would if he's especially from that era of like having slaves and stuff like that and like a white man's better. Like I was a little um flabbergasted with how he had so many black slaves. I mean, black vampires instead of like more white vampires. Because in my opinion, when you become a vampire, it's not like there's no extra abuse. Like once you're a vampire, you're a vampire. Your powers are the same.
Well, John Adams never owned slaves as when he was president. He was one of the few of his time that didn't believe in the institution, from what I've studied. Um, and so that perspective, he's been a vampire for a couple of hundred years, and he's walked through America and seen the racial divide and all of that. And what better an army made up of people who feel like they're left out of the American dream than black and brown people and poor white people? And that's sort of, he makes up his army of people who feel like they're not part of the American dream. They're easier to turn. They're easier
Right.
to persuade someone who's hungry that they can eat, if instead of going to someone who already has everything that they need.
Right. All right. Right on. Right on. Why did Tevin choose Mr. Saxter? Am I saying this correctly? Correct me,
Sangster.
please. Sangster.
Sangster.
Yeah, Mr. Sangster. Why did he choose him? Like in like specifically, he could have.
Well, in the first book, he was after him because that's what John Adams wanted him to be, because he knew that someone was on his tail. And as time went on, he realized that once he gave up his loyalty to John Adams, he needed somebody on the other side to kind of align with. And
Mhm.
he felt like, who better than the dude that already knows that there's a John Adams that is doing the things that he's doing. So he was the perfect person to kind of align himself with.
Okay. We kind of lost you there a little bit. I hope I hope that didn't cut out. It was saying something about poor connection. But all right, moving on. Seesaw, the nickname Seesaw. Did that come from like a neighborhood legend or something, or like was that like the like term Seesaw? That's just something you came up with, or like was that like a cousin's nickname or something? Like what does that originate from?
No, it was just a cool nickname to me, up and down.
Okay, okay. How come you chose Philadelphia? I mean, I think it's unique. I look at all the different cities that like have something, and like Philly is always like underrated. It's very very underrated. I mean, you got Rocky, few things here and there. Like, what does Philly really have in the fictional world? We don't know. So, yeah, how come you chose Philly?
Philadelphia has a unique role in American history, and
Mm-hmm.
it also has, like a lot of urban cities, its own sociological struggles. It's
Right.
a lot of crime, a lot of issues that a lot of cities have. And so I felt like if at one time Philadelphia represented the city of brotherly love and,
Mm-hmm.
the Liberty Bell and the Constitution and all of that, that it would be a nice juxtaposition between what history was and what it was intended to be and ultimately what it is now.
Ah, okay, okay. I'm following you. I'm following you. Okay. My next question. Oh, I was under the impression that once you kill the vampire that turned you, you could turn back. But I guess there's like a bit of a pull and tug with determining who turned like majority of the vampire following they had, because once John Adam is defeated, it just seems like he's defeated, and the vampires that were they're still like vampires, they didn't turn back to humans. So I was just questioning that, and also I forget the little girl's name. Oh my god, I forget, that girl scares the hell out of me. But when she was talking to her sister, and she was like, "Why don't you ask Tevin to turn you back? Like, why don't you ask him to turn you human, man? Like, like come back to being human." And she's like, "No, no, I enjoy eating flesh." Blah, 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 blah. So I want to talk to you. Like, how are the rules? Like, is this from like just something you decide to go? Is this the narrative you wanted to go with, like the vampire route, or is this something you researched?
Well, the vampire mythos doesn't really have a solid set of rules. It seems like every story or film or universe has its own rules, but John Adams was turned by in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
uh, so he wasn't the original. So it's
Oh,
it's not so much
right.
it's not so much that he's driven by magic. It seems like And the vampire stories where magic is at the core, that's where that, if I turn you into a vampire and I die, then you get to be human again. I think Lost Boys, movies like that
Yeah.
do that. But then there's some where um, it's more of a disease and it's a virus. And
Ah.
because mine is connected to yellow fever and some of the more physiological aspects of being a vampire, it's more of a disease of sorts and a virus of sorts than it is magic, even though there is some element of magic, but that's not the pervasive thing that makes you a vampire in my world.
Ah, intriguing, right? Because I saw that like how they were trying to like use logic to determine like why these people had bite marks and shit, and like people blood being drained out their body and things like that. So I thought that was a unique way to try to like make it seem like there's a logical explanation behind this. Okay, next question. Where are my questions? Undo the vampire because he used match. Oh, okay, okay. How come he didn't just how come he didn't just turn his grandma? Because his grandma was sick.
His if you look at the original what she said in the beginning of the story, she didn't want to be a vampire. She felt like it was an abomination that you only get a certain amount of life, and once it's time to go, it's time to go.
Go. Right, right. Okay, okay, okay. Let me see. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Who's this goon squad, man? Who's the little goon squad, man? Like they some cool cats. They're like a rock band. They're like a punk rock band.
Yeah,
Who these people?
it's he's sort of Adams has sort of collected people over time that he felt like could be trusted or were loyal to him that would sort of be like his guard, his personal guard. Like you've
Mm-hmm.
got the vampires that he turns on the street who do his bidding, and then he has the ones that sort of make up the inner circle.
Okay.
And so over the past 200 years, he's met people along the way that he felt like could play that role.
Okay. Did I lose you? Did
No,
I lose you?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Still
Cool. Cool.
here.
Cool. 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 All right. I thought it was interesting. And it kind of makes sense like now, but I'm just gonna bring up the fact that you had Jimmy and Jose. Okay. I, is it Jose? How you say her name?
Jose.
Jose. Okay. Okay. Um, I thought it was unique to have them kind of hook up because we learned in chapter, issue 7, a little more in that, but I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna talk about issues 1 through 6. Like how come you decided to, have them two hook up? Because it
Well,
made sense.
I felt like they had something in common, being a relationship with Sangster. Like one worked with him, the other one, was his father, and they had a common. Oftentimes when people get together, it's because they have something in common, and the thing
Right.
that they had in common was one, Sangster and his secret of being a vampire, and two, they both had traumatic upbringings. And
Yes.
sometimes people who have gone through things together, they find each other
Yeah.
and they find strength in each other. And I felt like, not only did she have loss and he had loss, but, we're going through a zombie apocalypse. I mean, excuse me, a vampire
Vampire
apocalypse
apocalypse.
together. And so that sort of would bring them closer.
Okay. This is just throwing out there. Where did you get the name Killadelphia?
It's a nickname that people give for the city, like Chirac, or I've heard of Pistolvania or Baltimore Murderland.
Okay.
I've heard a bunch of these names that come from the street, and so Killadelphia was just one of those names.
That stuff. It sticks. It sticks, man. That oh my god, it sticks. Okay. Um, if you were to have this become a wait. Would you prefer this to be a movie or a TV series?
It's been optioned as a TV series, so I'm developing it right now for a TV series.
Yay! Yes. Okay. I want RZA to play. I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there. I want RZA to be in the little goon squad. I want him to be the guy with the hat. Okay. I want him to be the guy with the hat, and I want Hobson. If you know who Hobson is, Hobson the rapper. I want Hobson to be Tevin.
Got it.
But that's just my 2 cents.
All right.
Okay. Or Shamik Moore could do it too. This is my 2 cents. Okay. All right. Where am I? Oh, how did Tevin unlock the book of alchemy? Like how did he figure that out?
He had 10 years to sit with it and figure it out. And I think what he said was, if you give anybody enough time to figure something out, they eventually will figure it out. I mean, I think the thing was he didn't approach it the same way Adams and his scholars did. He was patient and he didn't have a lot of ego or hubris in the way. He just took his time and put one thing together and another thing together. And I think oftentimes when it comes to people of color or black people, we figure things out. And if you don't always have the resources, you have to make do with what you have. And I think for him, you gave him something that was of value and he figured a way to make it valuable to him.
Okay. Okay. Pimp me like a strawberry straight off the bus. That's Philly slang. I know it is. That got to be like how they say John. Look at this John over here, that John over there. Like that. That got to be Philly slang.
It's certainly inner city slang, pimp slang. So.
Okay. Pimp slang. All right. Come here, girl. Come on over here. Give me that Sunday time on the sweater time. All right. Got it. Is Talbot going to be a villain in the future?
I can't tell you that. I can't give that away.
Okay.
Can't give that away, but he will. He's around. Let's put it that way. He's around.
All right. I hope. He's such an interesting character because like when I first was reading, who's this guy? He's annoying. Like the hell with him. And then the more like, oh, he's a vampire. Oh shit. Okay. Then like more things happen. Like okay, switching sides. All right, cool. I like how you reference a lot of historical things and like if people are not educated, then it's gonna go over their head. Like I forget the guy's name at the moment, but the American trader that they compared Tevin to. I was like, oh, this is our something. And I was like, hold on, what is that? And I looked it up.
Benedict Arnold.
Victor Arnold, yeah, you damn
Benedict
traitor. Okay. If you're a Star Wars fan, everybody likes the new Star Wars because like there's a scene where Kylo screams at Finn and he goes traitor. So like everybody likes to do that whenever they feel like somebody's a traitor. Okay. Mr. Barnes, bonus questions. We almost out of time. How did you get started writing?
In 8th grade, I had a teacher tell me that if I put a lot of effort and concentration into it, that I had the ability to one day be a really good writer. And from that point on, kind of stuck in the back of my head that I could be a writer one day. And I've been kind of playing with it. Then after college, I kind of started taking it seriously, and here we are.
I mean, listen, you're a phenomenal writer. We love
Thank
you. Run us a little by like how do you take on new projects? Like I know you got to run it by your lawyer first or an attorney, but is it more say what you feel you can do your best work in because or is it more say the pay or is it both? Like you just run us by that a little bit.
Well, sometimes things come to me through my managers and agents, and then other times when it comes to the comic books, I just sort of think of them and pitch them, and if a publisher likes the idea, we sort of go with it. It's according to what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they look for me, sometimes I look for them.
Intriguing. Okay. That's cool. What? Because when you working in the industry, you can't really, say this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. What are your top three away from Killadelphia? I love Killadelphia. And shout out to Jason. Oh my God, I love Jason. Jason, I love you. You're amazing. Um, what are your top three projects that you really enjoy as far as TV shows go?
The Lakers show that I'm doing now for HBO. I'm having a good time with that. The monster movie I'm writing for New Regency. I'm enjoying that. What else? I had fun on American Gods. That was a good
Yes.
ride. And
Yes, I at that episode. Okay.
and Tiger Woods probably. But yeah.
Wow. I know you did a little bit of writing for Boondocks. What season was that? Was that season two, three, one? What season was it that you wrote with Boondocks?
I worked from the beginning to the end. I was on every episode.
Oh wow. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I hear that. The Boondocks, us, nigga moment, all that. Sneak meter. This man right here. This man right here. This man right here. I told you I give y'all good people, but y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe me until I show you. I got Mr. Rodney Barnes. Oh, I got Mr. Rodney Barnes. If you could write your own story with a superhero from Marvel or DC, what superhero would that be and why?
Um, I don't I don't know. I mean, I grew up with a love of Green Lantern, so a John
John
Stewart
Stewart.
run would be kind of cool.
Mhm.
A Batman fan, so a run on Batman might not be the worst thing. I like
Mhm.
the cosmic world of Marvel, like Adam Warlock and
Yeah,
Thanos and all of that. I dig
Nova
that.
stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of. I mean, it's so many great worlds to play in comics that I've been a fan for a long time.
Hmm.
So a lot of the hallmark names, Swamp Thing,
Hmm.
it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. No one stands out amongst the others, but I was proud to be a part of the Star Wars universe with Lando, and I may go back and play in the Star Wars world again, and who knows?
Hmm.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me see. I have more questions. Oh, oh, When can we expect? When can we expect just a issue? I just gotta have a full issue, man. Like I'm not gonna tell the story of issue 7, but just after that the werewolf comic. Like, dude, it's something about you and Jason that is just a beautiful 1-2 combo. Y'all a beautiful duo, man. With just how y'all do things. Um, if you read issue 7 of Killidelphia, then you know what I'm talking about. At the end of the comic, there's a mini comic, and hopefully we get a little more of that, right? In issue 8, right? Okay. Uh, when can we expect the solo? When can we suspect solo comic of that? I gotta have that. I gotta have it right now.
Um, we'll probably do a full. The short story will run throughout the entire second arc of Philadelphia. That short story will be there for at least 6 issues, and if people dig it, I'll keep it going.
Listen, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? I'm trying to remember the name. I know it's something werewolf, something
Elysium
start with M.
Gardens. Elysium Gardens is the name of it.
Elysium Gardens. Okay, yeah, Elysium Gardens. Werewolves, written by yours truly. Listen. I think we are all out of time because I know you're a busy man. I don't want to hold you, Mr. Barnes. I wish I had more questions. But I think I'm gassed out. I think I'm all out of time. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rodney Barnes, brother, thank you so much for being on. Respect my nerves. You know what time it is. I got the Pac-Man on today, but like, thank you so much for coming and talking to us. Do. We love Philadelphia. We just love you. Just you, that brain. I look forward to this phase 2 in Philadelphia stories, and I look forward to a potential TV show. And hopefully in the future we might write together. But that's down the line. We don't know that yet. But Mr. Barnes, thank you so much, brother. Thank you,
Thank you, and
thank you.
I appreciate the support. I really do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Jason. I forget his whole name. I
I'll
can't
talk to
remember.
him, Jason Shawn Alexander. We will talk in a minute.
All right, and also shout out to Mr. Your secretary. Oh, what's his name?
Carlos. Carlos.
Carlos. Okay.
Yes.
Listen. Yes. Thank you, and thank you so much, man. You have a blessed day, my brother, and we are out.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right now.